And now we'll invite Gita Badiyan. Gita's company develops workplace integrity and helps infuse soul into organizations. She was born in Iran and raised in Canada, having lived in South America, Europe, the Middle East, the South Pacific. She has lived the experience of humanity as one. So Gita.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. As I listen to these lovely tales and of oneness, of our oneness, I really think that this is the gift of healing that we all have for the world. In light of the sad realities that are going on in the world, and particularly the what's transpired recently, I think the timing of this interfaith dialogue could not have been better. So I really want to thank the organizers and all of you for being here. You know, as a child growing up in Iran, I rather took for granted the Baha'i children's classes that I attended every Friday morning. And there I learned about the teachings of all world religions. By age 8 or 9, I believe I had learned about the lives and teachings of the holy Krishna and Buddha and Zoroaster. And I had learned about the lives of Moses and Christ and Muhammad, and of course the Bab and Baha'u'llah. You may be asking at that tender age how I was immersed in basically the study of world religions. And if that's what you're asking, the answer is really simple. You see, the fundamental idea in the Baha'i faith is one of oneness and unity. And so by virtue of that, the education and nurturing of children is essentially just that. Children in Baha'i families are brought up to learn about all world faiths. In fact, my name Gita comes from Bhagavad Gita, which is the holy book of the Hindus, and I just love that name. I came to Canada when I was 12, and to my surprise, I learned very fast that most people didn't care at the time, anyway, about religion. They didn't want to talk about it. They didn't know much about even their own faith. And it was considered kind of irrelevant. Religious issues were not relevant to people's daily lives. But as you and I know, times have changed. And today, religious issues are very much at the center. They're the focal point of many dinner discussions. And we have become very in tune. The religious issues are impacting in a very deep and powerful and intimate way the lives of many. So today, given our short time, I want to focus on this notion of oneness in the Baha'i faith. And of course, there are numerous other teachings that Baha'u'llah brought to the world, such as harmony, for example, that exists between religion and science. Equality, that's always been there between women and men. But this notion of oneness is the pivotal notion of this faith. And one of my favorite poets, and many of you would know Khalil Gibran, is a Lebanese poet who was influenced very much by the teachings of the Baha'i Faith. And in one of his poems he says, I love you when you bow in your mosque, when you kneel in your temple, when you pray in your church, for you and I are sons of one essence. I love that. And when you think, the idea of one God, the God that we all know and worship, is of one essence. This idea of one essence, one God, one religion, and one humanity was brought to us over 170 years ago by Baha'u'llah. And it's a notion that we're really grappling with right now. So you might be asking, but Gita, religions are different. Look, some have the Sabbath, some do Friday prayer, some don't eat pork, some have no problem with it, some consider cows sacred, others don't, etc. And of course, if we measure religion by these ephemeral notions, these social teachings, yes, religions are different, and we will never agree, and we will never be united. But let me ask you this, and just because you've been sitting down now for about half an hour, why not stand? Stand up. Only if you know of a faith, or you are of a faith that believes in love and compassion. And remain standing if that faith you're thinking of also believes in honesty and truth and trustworthiness and forgiveness and tolerance and respect and peace. Thank you. You see, the foundation of all religion is one. All religions carry the same message. And I believe in this time in history, we are here in order to form bonds, harmonious bonds, that are based on mutual love and mutual respect. And to kind of to use your words, Shoshana, to diss the notion of estrangement, of, this epidemic that we are of the other, that we're different from each other. We're not. And thanks to your story, all blood is red. So, Baha'is understand that all the divine teachers, the holy prophets, are one in spirit and one in purpose. And this, my friends, is the gift of healing for the world today. I want to read just quickly something from a writing from the son of Baha'u'llah, Abdul Wahab, who gave a talk and said this: the ocean is one body of water, but different parts of it have particular designations: Atlantic, Pacific, Mediterranean, Antarctic, etc. If we consider the names, there is differentiation, but the water, the ocean itself, is one reality. Likewise, the divine religions of the holy manifestations of God are in reality one, though in name and nomenclature they differ. So you and I really have no choice. We can't afford to resist this call. We are all the fruits of one tree and the leaves of one branch. And I want to invite all of you, all of us, to really get together and draw people together in order to build communities that are based on unity. Thank you.